Have you ever wondered what happens after death? A question that has puzzled mankind since the beginning. Death. It's a mystery that has intrigued us, terrified us, and fascinated us all at once. It's a journey we all must embark on, yet no one returns to tell the tale. It's the ultimate unknown, the final frontier. And humans, being the curious creatures we are, have spent centuries trying to unravel this enigma. The philosophical interpretations of death are as varied as they are profound. Philosophers, both ancient and modern, have grappled with this existential quandary, each offering unique insights and interpretations. Some have viewed death as an end, a cessation of existence, while others have seen it as a transition, a doorway to another plane of existence. Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher, saw death not as an end, but as the soul's release from the body. On the other hand, Epicurus, another Greek philosopher, argued that death should not be feared, as when we exist, death is not present, and when death is present, we no longer exist. Fast forward to the modern era, and we find existentialist philosophers like Soren Kierkegaard wrestling with the concept of death. For Kierkegaard, the awareness of our mortality is a catalyst for living authentically, for making our days count. But these are just the tip of the iceberg. There are numerous other philosophical perspectives on death, each offering a different lens through which to view this universal human experience. From the Buddhist concept of reincarnation to the atheistic assertion of death as an absolute end, philosophical interpretations of death run the gamut from the spiritual to the secular. The exploration of these perspectives is not just an intellectual exercise, it has the potential to transform our understanding of life itself. For in grappling with the mystery of death, we are forced to confront the meaning and purpose of our own existence. As we delve deeper into the philosophical understanding of death, we expect to encounter perspectives that are both enlightening and challenging. Let's travel back in time to the ancient civilizations when philosophers like Socrates and Epicurus contemplated the notion of death. In the vibrant city-states of ancient Greece, the mystery of death was a topic of great fascination and debate. Among the leading thinkers of the time, Socrates stood out with his unique perspective on death. Known for his unyielding pursuit of wisdom, Socrates viewed death not with fear, but with a sense of curiosity. He saw it as the ultimate journey of the soul, a release from the physical body. Socrates argued that death is either an eternal dreamless sleep or a transition to another life. In both cases, he believed there was nothing to fear. If death is a dreamless sleep, it would be the most peaceful rest one could hope for. If it is a transition to another life, he would have the opportunity to meet the heroes of the past and continue his quest for knowledge. This perspective on death, rooted in the belief of the immortal soul, shaped the way people viewed the afterlife and brought a sense of peace to those fearing the unknown. On the other hand, we have Epicurus, another eminent philosopher of ancient times. He offered a different angle on death, one that was firmly grounded in the physical world. Epicurus argued that we should not fear death because when we exist, death is not, and when death exists, we are not. He emphasized that death is simply the absence of sensation, the end of consciousness. As such, it cannot be experienced and is therefore nothing to be afraid of. Epicurus wanted to liberate people from the fear of death and the afterlife. His philosophy taught that the purpose of life is to seek pleasure and avoid pain. Since death is devoid of both, it should not be feared. This pragmatic view of death challenged the traditional beliefs of the time and encouraged people to focus on the joys of the present life. Both Socrates and Epicurus, despite their differing views, shared a common goal: to demystify death and alleviate the fears associated with it. Their ideas challenged societal attitudes, encouraging a shift from fear to understanding. Today, their philosophies continue to influence our perspectives, offering comfort and provoking thought about the inevitable end we all face. From the ancient philosophers, we learn that death, rather than being feared, can be understood and even embraced. A fast forward to the present, where the question of death continues to intrigue philosophers and common people alike. The existentialists, for instance, have a unique perspective. They propose that death, being an inevitable part of life, gives meaning to our existence. This seemingly paradoxical idea finds its roots in the writings of Soren Kierkegaard, who asserted that the very awareness of death forces us to live authentically. We realize that our time is limited, so we must make choices that reflect our true selves, not societal expectations. Then we have the nihilists, who see death as a stark reminder of life's inherent meaninglessness. Influenced by Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy, they reject the idea that death imparts any special meaning to life. Instead, they claim that life, just like death, is devoid of any inherent purpose or value. These philosophies might seem diametrically opposed, but they both influence our societal understanding of death. The existentialist view encourages us to embrace life, to live it fully and authentically, knowing that death is always lurking in the shadows. On the other hand, the nihilistic perspective, though it paints a bleak picture, can also be liberating. If life and death are both meaningless, then we are free to create our own purpose, to make our own meaning. These philosophical debates have seeped into our collective consciousness, influencing our attitudes towards death. Some of us, inspired by existentialism, strive to make each moment count. We seek to live authentic lives, knowing that death could come at any moment. Others, swayed by nihilism, reject societal norms and prescribed meanings, choosing instead to carve out their own paths. In the end, whether we align with existentialism, nihilism, or some other philosophy, the impact of these ideas is undeniable. They shape our understanding of death, influence our actions, and ultimately determine how we live our lives. In the modern philosophies, we find a spectrum of views on death, each offering unique insights into this universal phenomenon. So how does understanding these philosophical interpretations of death impact us on a personal level? Well, when we begin to comprehend the various philosophical perspectives on death, we unlock a profound shift in how we view life itself. Instead of fearing the inevitable, we can approach it with enlightened curiosity. This change in perspective can have far-reaching effects on how we live our lives, the decisions we make, and how we respond to life's challenges. Consider this. If we adopt Socrates' view that death is merely a transition to another state of existence, it can lessen our fear of dying. We might consider our actions more deeply, knowing they may carry over into another life or form of existence. Now, if we lean towards Epicurus' belief that death is simply the cessation of sensation, it could inspire us to live fully in the present, to savor every moment, since this life is all we have. And if we align with Heidegger's existentialist view that death gives meaning to life, we might become more intentional in our actions. We could find ourselves striving to lead lives filled with purpose and meaning, knowing our time is finite. You see, understanding death through the lens of philosophy doesn't have to be a morbid exercise. Quite the contrary, it can be an empowering exploration that changes our lives in profound ways. In understanding death, we learn not just about the end of life, but about life itself. As we come to the end of this exploration, let's reflect on what we've learned about death from philosophy. From ancient times, through our current understanding, we've seen death as an enigma, a part of the human condition, and a catalyst for change. Philosophy helps us grapple with these ideas, illuminating our path as we navigate the inevitable. Death, as we've seen, is not just an end, but a profound part of our human experience. So, how do you perceive death and its role in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below.